Dude, where have you been? I've been waiting forever. I've been trying to call you. I almost had to give up your seat.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk. I am Philip, and joining me this week is Mr. Jonathan Nettles. He is the former film critic for THV Channel 11.
Yeah, hey everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, you're
week.
welcome. I'm glad to be here. This is exciting.
Really exciting because we're talking John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Initial reaction, what'd you think?
I'm a sucker for action movies like this, so this one it's got me. I'm all in on a Keanu Reeves action movie especially, but these John Wick movies have been they've been great.
That's what I was going to say. First of all, a little bit of context. So obviously big Keanu fan, but so you've liked the John Wick movie so far. You're in on this universe.
Yeah. It took me when the first John Wick came out, I didn't see it, and I saw John Wick 2, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I miss? So I was like, I got to go back and watch it. So now, I'm all over it. And this whole resurgence of these R-rated action movies the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. I grew up a child of the 80s watching Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, Sylvester Stallone. Those were the movies that I watched while everybody else was watching The Breakfast Club and stuff like that. You know, I was watching The Predator and Running Man. And so seeing these movies come back, it's so exciting for me.
Yeah, no, this is really. If you've seen the first two, the action is super grounded, super they shoot it wide. Right. You see all of it. Yeah. It's not jump cuts or handheld or stuff like that. You really see everything that's playing out. You can tell how much training has been done. You can tell how well choreographed it is. Yeah. And it feels like this is the third film, obviously, and director Chad Stahelski. He's done all three of them. He did the first one with David Leitch, who went on to do Deadpool 2 and is doing Hobbs and Shaw. But you can tell he knows what he's doing. And I'd say in this one he's just operating at the top of his game.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that you talk about you don't want to really glorify violence, but they keep coming up with new and fresh ways for John Wick to kill people.
Yeah.
There were so many knife fights in this movie. The scene on the motorcycles with the dogs. Halle Berry trained for 6 months with a pair of Belgian Malinois for this movie. And it's just so many nut shots in this movie. So many people.
Those dogs, yeah.
I mean, you don't want to mess with those dogs.
No.
You do not. But
they do so much damage to so much genitalia in this movie. It's insane.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. I can't even imagine trying to count the death toll in this movie.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. Somebody online has got to do that.
It's probably already done.
They've done that in what was it one of the Captain America movies? Somebody went through and was like, how many people has Captain America actually killed? Because he doesn't deliver a death blow, but he's killing some people with that.
Right.
So surely somebody out there has got a death count for John Kill, and somebody's got it broken down, and that's what we really need to see. We need to see it broken down. How many different ways and how many people has John Wick killed people in these movies?
It felt like this one, it's obviously bigger. And but it's not just bigger for the sake of being bigger because they have a bigger budget because it's the third movie or anything. The story is expanding; it continues to expand, but also it's just more impressive. Everything about what they're doing with these action scenes is just, from the word go. There's the library sequence, and then right after that you have this knife fight sequence that is just pure insanity.
Yeah.
And
in a horse stable. And,
oh my gosh! Yeah. Yes. How do you? Yeah. The horse. It's so brutal. Did you think this was by far the most brutal one?
It was definitely the most brutal and the most gory. There's one scene in there. I don't want to spoil it, but there's one scene where everybody in the theater went, ugh, and it was it wasn't even a violent scene, but it just shows you kind of where our sensibilities are. We can watch John Wick stab people and shoot people, but when this other thing happened off to the side, that's the thing that got everybody. Yeah. But in addition to the choreography and how well they do the fight scenes, they have really built a universe inside of here. You know, you've got the Continental and the High Table and the mythology behind it. That they don't really go deep into the mythology. They just they do a good job of like, here's what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
the telling you without telling you.
And they don't have to go back and explain it, and you don't feel like you're losing anything about not explaining. You know, there are some people who watch a movie and they're like, oh, well, we need to see a prequel about how this happened. Well, no, you really don't.
Right.
And especially in like a movie like this, you know what you're going to get when you watch a John Wick movie. You know you're going to get action. You know you're going to get these brutal scenes. And so that's just what it is. It is what it is, and what it is a really good action movie.
Yeah, it's maybe, I mean, honestly, maybe one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. Like, it's so consistent. It maybe drags for a few minutes here and there, but even like you're talking about the story, they and this is specifically true with Halle Berry's character here. Like, as soon as you meet her, they have this exchange, and you like understand her whole backstory in less than 2 minutes.
Right.
And you feel something for her immediately because of these little details they throw in there. Yeah. But it's not just exposition for the sake of exposition. It's quick character development that gets you invested, and then they go shoot some more people. Right.
It is pretty amazing what they did with Halle Berry, and she was not in the movie for that long.
No.
You know, maybe, I don't know, a 10, 15-minute little segment, but it was a really good sequence that she was in. I mean, they took full advantage of Halle Berry being in that movie. And it is, like you said, you know, they explained her backstory, and they didn't need to use, like, flashbacks or anything and go back and tell the whole story. They just kind of said, here's what happened, let's move on.
Right,
and it's just a really unique way of telling the story, and like you said, getting you to be vested in the characters.
Yeah, and you get their connection and why they, the events that have brought them back together, but you understand why he has come to her specifically, and without delving too much into the semantics of it all and everything. And it's just executed really cleanly, just like the action is. Everything is really smooth as far as the story, the expanding of the universe, and then the action is just like the biggest cherry on top.
And I think if you're an action fan, obviously you're going to love this movie, but there are other characters in this movie that were in some great movies. Look for a couple of actors that were in The Raid and The Raid 2.
Yeah.
Those are phenomenal martial arts movies. I know people on that have heard me rant about this on THV11 about these movies. You've got to see them if you like martial arts movies and action movies, and they're good in it. Bronn from Game of Thrones, he's in this movie, and Theon was in the first one, so we've got another Game of Thrones connection in this. So it's just it was so good. It was so good.
I agree. Like, I was trying to think of other things because there were so many things happening, and yet it felt very streamlined, very, like I was saying, very quickly paced, and to the point that I was never bored. I was always just like, how are they going to continue to expand this world and take like Ian McShane's characters, and Lance Reddick is the concierge at the hotel.
His character was cool.
He gets a lot more to do in this time around. Then there's a new character who is, what did she call herself? She's like
the adjudicator or something.
That's right.
Let's see. We're both going on our phones to look because we don't remember. The adjudicator.
Asia Kate Dillon. And I hadn't heard of her, hadn't seen her in anything, and she delivers this performance that, like, she's a younger person than anybody else in the cast, but she's so assured of herself. And like, even her voice wasn't what I expected it to be when she first appeared, and it was just like, I don't know.
It's almost off-putting. The first time you hear her voice, it's almost off-putting, and you're like, is this is what we're going to get from her? But then the more her character shows up, you're kind of like, okay, I get it. She's very proper. She's very straight to the point, and that's who her character is, because she's there to adjudicate things and make sure that the rules are followed by the high table.
Right,
which rules everything.
Yeah, the high table they really put some emphasis on that, and if you see the movie, you'll find out why. I also wanted to mention Mark Dacascos. He played let's see what that character name is. Zero. So he's the villain, the main guy who becomes the villain.
Yeah.
And again, like, kind of subverted expectations with how you thought he would act towards John Wick.
Right.
And some surprising bits of humor in there.
Yeah, a lot of humor, and like everybody and all the villains have like this reverence for John Wick.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah.
He's revered amongst the assassins.
Yeah.
Amongst everybody else. So that just further adds to the mystery of John Wick.
And as always, Keanu solid all the way through.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, really enjoyed this one. Kind of more than I expected to, because I really enjoyed the first. Kind of thought the second was good. Didn't know if it hit the heights of the first one,
right.
But this one might have surpassed both of them for me. I don't know. Here at Tavern Talk, we do out of 5 stars. So John Wick 3, what would you give it?
Oh, wow. It's hard to give out like 5 stars for stuff. I'm going to give this 4 stars.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to get it. I think that's pretty good.
4 stars is like a solid B for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just everything you could want for it without it just becoming superior.
And I got exactly what I expected to get.
Yeah.
Exactly what I thought, exactly what I expected.
I think I'm actually going to go 4.5. I know.
Nice.
I really, it just exceeded a lot of the expectations I had for it. The action blew me away in a way I didn't know was still possible. And then there was more times in this movie that I was just like, reacted to.
You know what? I'm going to change mine to 4.5 too.
Did I convince you?
I think I am. Yeah, you convinced me. Yeah, I forgot for a minute about all of that stuff.
It was much better than I anticipated it to be, and it's, if Mission Impossible is like the peak for stunts, the action here is like the highest level you could hit. So.
It's interesting. I thought about Tom Cruise while we were watching Keanu do some of these stunts, and for some of these things I was like, oh, Tom Cruise wouldn't have used a harness on the motorcycle. Tom Cruise would have done this, So that's interesting that you just brought that up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We don't need to compare Tom Cruise.
No, he should have been the guy in the desert.
Right. Yeah.
But no. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us,
Hey,
man.
welcome.
I appreciate it. Yeah. No. Definitely. Anytime you want to see something, come. Talk with us again on Tavern Talk. We'll definitely appreciate it. But yeah, if you're near a movie tavern, that is where we get to see every movie every week. So definitely check out the movie tavern. It is full. You can order drinks, dessert, or full meal if you're super hungry while you watch the movie. It's a great experience. Definitely check out Movie Tavern if you have one near you, or if you don't, make the drive. It's worth it. But once again, thank you for checking us out. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Jonathan, any follow on Twitter, any of that kind of stuff? What's the
you can
handle?
follow me on @theJohn1 if you want to. Occasionally I do. I talk about a little bit about everything on my Twitter feed.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you for checking out Tavern Talk. We'll be back next week with a new review of the biggest release, because that's what we do. Thanks. Peace.